Okay, so basically in topic 8, we're going to work with seller's page screen or tab. So in your book, in this book, I'm using tab, but in the example that I use is by using a drawer navigation, but basically the same, more or less. But here what we have is this page here, or what we call as a seller page or seller screen. So this seller screen basically works, how it works, basically just to list down all the nearby products. Okay, but since we don't have yet anything, so we might need to create a form to allow user to enter new products. So here I use what we call as a speed dial. You can see there's a floating icon buttons here. The what we call the default floating action buttons allow only for one item only. Okay, so which is just a floating button, but this is a speed dial. Speed dial allow you to have a nice animation with a pop-up menu. When you click on this button, it basically will pop up and then display more options, more visible options. But I'm not using this yet, so I just use a very simple menu, which is implemented something like this. Okay, so you have this menu up here, implemented through app bar. And when user click on the new product here, so we have a form, which is this form here that allow user to upload new product, which is similar to user registration. Okay, so we're going to repeat, we're going to use the same code, the same logic, the same process again, but this time to register new product. But to be able to register new product, user will require to register their account first, because we don't want to allow for unregistered user to insert new product. All right, so the implementation for the menu is here. New product main screen, seller screen here. So the menu is implemented through the app bar. So you can see there's an app bar there. Actions menu, action list. So you have icon button, two icon button up there, temporarily placed there. But the pop-up menu button implemented through this pop-up menu button. So very, very simple. Okay, so pop-up menu button basically will draw you the pop-up menu items. So the first one is products. The first one is a product, and then the second one is a my order. So my order basically consists of nothing yet. But for the first one, new product, what we're going to do is we want to go to new product page or screen. So here you can see, before this, I thought that the pop-up menu item, there's an on tab. You can see there's an on tab implementation there, but it doesn't work through on tab. So the click operation basically implemented through the on selected value down here. So the on selected value basically will check for the value of the menu that we selected from the pop-up menu items. And then it will check if a value equals 0. So here what I want is to go to new product, which is just check for the ID, which is 0 means that this is unregistered icon, a registered account. So unregistered account, I just let user know that please register an account with us, or you might want to go or navigate to the registration menu and return. So means that you don't allow unregistered user to post new item. Okay, this is just a very simple blocking, just to block user and don't allow them to access the new product screen down there. All right, so the new product screen, this is new product screen. So this is just for now, just a very simple product screen, which consists of scaffold and app bar and nothing inside there. So let me just update my app bar. App bar will consist of a title. Oh, sorry. App bar, yeah, should consist of a title, and this is just a constant next, and then new product or services. Okay, so just an empty page which consists of this. So when I click on the new product here, you should be able to see new product or service layout or screen. So this is where we're going to implement. If you go back, you should be able to see this. So new product, and then you have this to be able for user to add new product to the database. Okay. So this is where we're going to design or implement our new product page, which for now consists of nothing, new product. Okay, but the implementation here through the bottom navigation, so you can omit, there's no need for you to implement tab. New product page, so this is where we create new product page. A new product page will consist of the following widgets and structure, form, items, and then finally you should be able to see it's quite a lot actually, but the outcome is the output there. Oh, I put everything straight into the page responsiveness. But what we're going to achieve is this page here. The implementation can be anything, the way that you design your page, but this is very, very simple page implementation, this page here. So the page basically consists of this image widgets here, which allow user to take one picture only. Okay, so but you can actually implement multi pictures. So when users click on this, and then they should be able to access the camera and then take picture from there, or they can access from gallery to take picture from gallery. And down here, this is a form for new products, and we start with product names, product description by using text area, product price, quantity, and down here there's what we call as a locality or the location-based service, which automatically detect the user location and implement geocoding or reverse geocoding, which automatically retrieve the user states and also locate locality. So we're going to implement this also, and then you can learn how to use location-based service. But this is this is free. There's no need for us to access any paid services. And finally, down here we have delivery costs. Since if you want to implement delivery, so you might want to have a delivery per kilometer cost implement here. Okay, but this is the overall design of the page basically come out from the idea. Okay, so your application idea. So whenever user posts an item, and they will have to take at least one picture, a required picture, and fill in this simple form. So this can be very simple design. If you compare this to like Mudah will require a lot of input to be able to post new items. Okay, but here it's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's only 6 input required for user to be able to use the system already or post new product or service already. Compared to Mudah, so you have to fill in a lot of pages. So we try to reduce that, or we try to declutter that, so that can be one of the advantages of using the application. Okay, because you try to Okay, so you try to make your application different than keep on popping up. You're muted. I'm not muted, right? You check one more time. This is okay. This is not muted. Okay, so you can see this is a speed dial, so I'm not going to use this, but this is more visible to user because user can see that when they click on this, they have menus up here. All right, but I'm not going to do that just for now. So we start with the new product page. So here, what I have is a container, box decoration image. So I use decoration image to implement image handling. But here you can see there's a special if statement to allow for selection. Okay, so because whenever you first open this page, you don't have your image yet, selected image yet. So you need to use what we call as an asset image, so that the asset image will start first before you start with the selection. Okay, so let's see if we can implement this for the image selection. All right, so we start with the image selection inside this container here. But then again, later on, we're going to have quite a number of inputs. So the expectation for this is that we're going to end up with a single child scroll view. So either you want to implement the whole layout as a single child scroll view or just a portion of the screen. But to make it simple, just implement everything as a single child scroll view. Child, for the single child scroll view, we can start with a column and children. Okay. And for the first section for the UI, we have image. So image implement through, so here I use flexible. Maybe I can start with just a container first. Okay, we start with a container. And the container basically will contain all these widgets. Okay, so you can see there's a number of widgets here. The widget that I use inside here is start with box decoration. Okay, so this box decoration as a decorator for the container. So container basically contain decoration there. Okay, so this decoration. So the decoration here allow for us to use image. Okay, so one of the options available inside decoration is image decoration, right? Sorry, decoration image, box decoration. So we contain this into box decoration. So inside box decoration, we can have decoration image. Okay, so it's quite deep. Image and then decoration image. And inside decoration image, there's a required parameter. Inside decoration image, you will require image. Okay, so you will require image inside here. It is a required. Okay, and then you need to provide with the image provider. And this is where you need to understand the if statement inside your widgets. So the if statement inside the widgets, you can see here, this is if statement. So your decoration image, which is part of box decoration, will require image, and inside here we use decoration image, and for the decoration image will require image, but for the image there's an options here. There's a two options. So if the image object is not available or if equal null, but unfortunately, if null can be used and even in the latest version of which we have from the application. But if the image is not null, which means that we have this from our file image and allow us to take image and provide as image provided. So I hope this code still work, but I use this code with after the null safety implemented in Flutter 3. So this should work. Okay, but here down here is just to scale down the image. But let's see if you manage to get it to work. But I need to check if I do have any asset available. My asset, I don't have image. Oh, so unfortunately, I don't have image asset. So I might need to find an image asset first. So for now, I'm going to use anything from the internet. So new product image. But this is just for example. So let's see if any of the image here that I can use for, or maybe we can use take picture. Take picture, let's call it logo, clip art. Anything that we can use for the application. So let's see if I can use anything site here. This one, selfie, take picture, take product picture. Anything that I can use here, or maybe I can just use from my Git. So anything from my asset down here, this is what? This is the logo, profile, splash. This is splash screen. I don't have it inside here. That's only profile and splash. Somewhere. Slum shop admin, things like here, asset, image, yeah, camera. All right, so I can use this one. And put it into the application. Put it into my asset. Put it inside here. Okay, so save the file, put it in here, .png, right, save. Okay, so now we have the image inside asset. So you have it there, PNG, take picture. So you can use any picture that you like regarding that. So we start with check if the image is null. So we don't have the image yet. So we just use this parameter if image is null. So if the image is null, so we take the first one. So the first one will require for the asset image. Okay, so we'll use the asset image and set to path. All right, so we don't have path, we don't have image declared up there, not yet. The second one, if you don't have, we can use file image down here and set as image provider. All right, so that's basically the option. And again, we don't have image. So we need to define our image. So where did I define my image? Yeah, here. This is the definition of the image. And this is where I set the path asset. So you can put it somewhere up here, and definitely you need to import, which is IO, not HTML. For the file.io, right, there you go. Let's see one more time, new product. No. Okay, we don't have the image here. It should be here, but we don't have that. Okay, so this is the correct location for the image. And should be no problem for the image to appear if we have that. So let's see what else that we don't have. Image, yeah, fitting for this. Is it inside? Yeah, should be okay. So if you don't have that, we can stop and rerun again. That is a common because of the resource issue. This is a resource and that resource is a new, and the application cache hot reload, they don't have that yet in the application. So we can just try to reinstall and see if we manage to have it in the application. The folder is correct. Assets, images. Oh yeah, one more thing that I forgot is to turn on the image. So that is maybe the reason. Sorry there. Asset images should be okay. Okay, sometimes we forgot about that. So make sure that yours is turned on through the pubspec YAML. Okay, try to rerun again, reinstall again, and hopefully we manage to get our image inside the box decoration. There's also other methods of doing this, but so far that I've found this to be quite reliable to display image. And so far they haven't yet enforced on this because I check on image now. So by default, image is file. So if the file is not available, so show the asset image. If the file is available, show the image that we have from the file image. Right, so let's see from the buyer, seller, new product. Don't have the image here. Is it because of the head of the container? There. Let's see to 150. There you go. It's because of the head. Okay, so this one is 150 pixels. So we might want to implement the responsive. So where I put responsive, is there any responsive here? Nope. Yeah. So let's just do the let's say to 200. So this one's 200. So this is 200. So now you can put border, or you can use, let's say we put a cart surrounding this. Where's cart? Wrap with row, wrap with widgets, wrap with widget row. So cart, and then set the elevation a little bit to 8. All right, so you have cart there. So make it a little bit nice. And then down here we can have our form. Okay, so we can start with form. So form, you can put it inside a cart with no problem. So let's see, we have a card, another card if you want to. Or if you don't want, you can have something like the one that I designed here. This is without card or with card. So we have card up here, and at the bottom we don't have. I didn't put any card down here, so just create our form, which is I'm going to straight away take from here. It's all flexible, so there's a flexible widgets down there, or you can use expanded. It's up to you. So we start with a title, form title up here. So I'm going to take this, put it into title there. Okay, so add new product. So it's up to you how to design. There's no limitation here. So we start with that, and then we can have form. So I'm going to put form. Child is a column, and then put children, and put everything inside here for our text form field. So start with the product name. Put it inside. And definitely we don't have this cursor there. We don't have yet the controller. Focus scope, this is for later. There's no need for focus scope yet. So I'm going to remove the on field submitted. And for the controller also later. Okay, so we have our first item inside the form. Product name. Okay, so then you can continue with the rest. Okay, you can continue with the rest. So the second item that we need, product description. So product description here, I use text form field, but with max lines. Okay, you can see max lines, so which means that you have 4 lines. So I'm going to take the text form field for the second input and put it, this is a form, put it inside here. So no need for controller just yet. Remove that, and also on field submitted parameter here also remove. Okay, so this one for description. So you have your second input already. This is a product description. The third item we need here is price. So price here, I put it into row. So row divide by 2. So you have text form field for price and quantity. How many product that you have, or quantity of products. Okay, so here we have a row, and definitely it is going to be quite a long form already. Okay, so you can see this is a text form field, so that you have it down here. Should be implemented as a row. Yeah? You can see there's a row there. There's a 2 items here, 1 and 2, and definitely I don't have yet the full design. So continue with the full design for the text form field. The first one, which is this one, text form field for the price. And focus also, we don't need that yet. Focus 1, and remove the controller. I'm not quite sure the cursor here. This is maybe because of Microsoft Word. So we have the first text form field for price, and then the second one we have for the quantity. So there's a text form field for the quantity. So we stick with the design first, and if you don't like the design, you can try different design. So the second one for text form field is down here. Put it there, and definitely you might need to remove your focus and there. Okay, so we have this. So not the best yet. Okay, so you have your product name, product description, product price, and product quantity. What else do we need? So here, this is for the product states and also states and locality. All right, this is for GPS later on. We're going to use this and to detect user current location and also get their locality, their states, and then their local municipality. So that can be, you can get this from this row. Okay. All right, so that is for row, but now that for later. Okay, for this location later, so I'm not going to use that information just yet. So we can just skip for that. And finally, what else do we have? Locality, down there is for locality. Yeah, we have a charge for the delivery charge. Okay, so here we have delivery charge. So there's another row and also checkbox to make sure that the item is what we call as a lawful items. So we want also to make sure that, because there's always possibility that user will post illegal items. Okay, so you might need to have that to make sure that it is up to the seller. If they click on this, means that they agree anything that they post here is on their own. It's not the company or the organization that or the application will take the responsibility of whatever item that posted by this user. So you need that confirmation. So you put a lawful item into this application. Okay, so always think of that. Always think that user, you might want to think that user will only post a good item, but there will always a case that people will sell drug online, will sell illegal items, firearms, and whatnot. So you have to take care of that. You need to make sure that your application is not going to be responsible for anything unlawful item that is being posted into your application. So consider that also. Right? So you have to understand that also. And we put that into the application also. Make sure that we are not eligible for any lawsuit that comes from that. So I'm going to take the whole row there and put it into here. Sit down here. This is flexible. This is for row. This is for columns. This is, yeah, down here. And focus, no need for that. Controller, not yet. Same value is check. We need is check. Okay, so is check is a Boolean. So we just define up here. Bool by default is false. Right. So save that. Should be able down here. Okay. Lawful item or whatever the terms that you want to put here. So put it as a lawful items. And then delivery charge. Okay, so per kilometer, let's say RM1 per kilometer if you want to implement delivery. Okay, so now you have your basic form ready based on this. So there's one more thing that we need, elevated button. So this button basically will implement the, are you sure or not you want to insert this product into database. So now you can see the form already finally defined. This is form. This is a row. Yeah, down here. Elevated button. We don't have the screen height and width and new product dialog. So we can just create the methods. And then if you want to create screen width and screen height of fixed size. So I'm going to have the button remove this first, because this one, if you don't implement this, you might need to put it into a container, but here it is. Okay, so we have a button down there, add product button. If you want to make it bigger, because the elevated button, they don't have the size. So either you can just wrap this into a container or size box, so it should be no problem. And then give the width. Let's say 200 pixel. Okay. Or you can use the responsive page and get the screen width. So that is also another option. So now we have our basic form ready. Okay, so this basic form should allow us to be scrollable. Okay, you can see that the form is scrollable, so that we don't have that error, render error. And then we have all the basics form ready. But now you can see you might want to put some padding. Okay, so because it's very close to the edge of the screen, and you start to look at the code here is quite long. So if you want to do some management in terms of form, you take it outside, you take the form outside and put it as a widget or put it as a class to make it better in terms of design. Okay, but yeah, this is basically how the form is being designed. So let's say I want to do some padding. So the padding can be through form. So let me add some padding to the form, if I may. So this is, will introduce 8 pixel padding, but yeah, it does seems to work. So there's an 8 pixel padding here, left, right, up, and bottom. Up and bottom. So you have padding. So if you think that it's not enough, you can increase the size of the padding, but padding will provide you with the internal padding. Okay. So you just wrap the form with a padding. So here I just use all, but yeah, that depends on your design, how you want your page or form to be designed. So we have a form ready, and this form will implement quite a number of features that usually be used in application. One of it is take picture here, and this definitely will take some time for you to understand, because we're going to use file picker. We're going to use image picker. Sorry, we're going to use image picker that allow us to take picture from by using our camera and also by using the gallery. Okay, so you have two options here. When you click on this, okay, they click on this, they should be able to access camera, but you need to provide permission also. You need to provide permission to be able to access the camera, let the user know that the application use camera. And the other one also for the file storage, because whenever you take picture, the storage also will be used to store that picture into the application directory. So you need permission in terms of that also. Okay, so this is where mobile application or any mobile application is better in term web application, because in web application you don't have that much. Okay, mobile application and particularly in Android application development, whenever you want to access to certain features or functions that available in your device, such as camera, GPS, sensor, or storage, or even the internet connection, the application will require for the developer to implement permission. Okay, this is what we call as a permission handler. So the application will ask the user for the first time only. Okay, for the first time, for the camera permission. Okay, so are you sure you want to allow for the application to access your camera? So user will know that, okay, this application access camera features. Okay, this application access storage. This application access GPS. This application access sensor. Okay, so that you are aware. All right, so there's a requirement for this application to use your location. Okay, and then you allow for the application to access that features. So when you allow for that to happen, means that you are the one who is responsible for that, because you give the permission, so that you don't the application developer already did their part. Okay, they did their part to request for that. Is it cool? Just turn off that. So that they are not going to responsible. You are not going to responsible for whatever permission that is given to or request from user. Okay, so that's why law is very important. Local law, understanding of how local law works, or how the what we call as a multimedia. In Malaysia, we have that act. Okay, the cyber law, everything. Then you need to understand that local law. Okay, like GPS access, location permission, because some country they don't allow that. Okay, like in North Korea, something like that. Definitely a big no. Right, somewhere that they don't allow for GPS access, they don't allow for camera access. So local law is very important for this application. So that's why they have that permission. So you have to agree to the permission. So whatever happen to your phone or to the application, to the user, whenever you use the features, is not up to the developer. So you are out of the questions to be to be what we call sued by the government or by the person who used the application. Okay, so it's very, very important. That is one thing. Right. Okay, so yeah, again to implement dialogue, so we can just implement gesture detector. The gesture detector basically implemented by wrapping our card with a gesture detector up there, and then implement the on tap, and then we have our methods. So select image dialog. So this is the method that we want to implement, and here we will provide user with options, either to take from gallery or to take from camera. Okay, so there are options there. So I'm going to put there inside here. But for this one, I use elevated button. So either way, so I'm going to remove this elevated button because I don't implement screen width and height yet. So I'm going to remove that. So there's a dialog there. Select from. Okay, select from. Okay, so whenever we have select from, so we provide select picture from. Okay, so this is our show dialog. And then we provide buttons inside here. We provide button inside a row. So we have, let's say, if you want to have an icon button, you can use icon button. So let's say if you want to use, let's say icon button, yeah, just icon button. We use icon. The first one, take from camera. Okay, we take from camera. Right. So this is constant. And the on press method, this one we can just on camera. Okay, this is a method, just a simple method. So create method on camera down there. And the second button we want is icon button also, but from gallery. So this one from gallery, browse gallery. There any icon, gallery icon? Okay, browse gallery down there. Okay, so we have browse gallery. So this one method we'll call on gallery. Okay, so we create that method again. Create method. Right, so now we have that two icon there. So if you want to space around, should be okay. Right, so now we take picture, we just click on this. You have this. Select picture from camera or from, this is gallery icon. Oh, okay, so there's a browse gallery icon. Okay, so if you want to make it bigger or you want to have like, so you can always wrap your icon button. Let me see if I can wrap this with a size box. and set a little bit bigger. Okay, set a little bit bigger with, let's say, 100 pixel. So the same with the second one, wrap with a size box, and then with that to 100 pixel. Let's see if we can have that much bigger. Same 100, same 100. Say 200. How about 200? Size box 200 or nope. 200 is not working. So the icon size, if we can have icon size, if there's any properties on the size, yeah, we do have icon size there, size double. So we can provide, let's say 32 and icon button size 32. Let's say this is 32 pixel size. Let's see if we can have it differently. Yeah, much bigger. 64. All right, so much bigger. Okay, 64 may be too big, so you can dial it down to whatever size. Maybe if you want to implement columns, okay, icon button, let's see if you have text. Icon button text, if there's any title that you can use. No, you have tooltip. You can implement tooltip, but yeah, if you want to have like at the bottom, let's say down here from camera, down here from gallery, but I'm not quite sure if this is gallery or gallery. It doesn't seem to represent gallery much. This is browse gallery, but we don't have gallery. Maybe I can use image. Image aspect ratio, image search, broken image aspect ratio, image not supported, image search sharp, roller, fight image. No, we don't have much for image. Okay, so we can have the gallery, but maybe this is the default one provided by, we only have that. Okay, we only have that. So that's basically the first thing that we need to do. So user can select from this and also from this. Okay, either one. Okay, you can have like icon, you can have buttons or whatever that you like here. So this is just maybe you can have like text down here. Okay, but you need to implement columns, double columns here, column for this and column for this. It's up to you. Okay, so now we need, click on this, take picture, click on this, go for gallery. Okay, take picture from gallery. All right, so the implementation of that, so here implement from select from gallery and select from camera. So if that is what we are looking for, so we might want to implement pop. We pop the current icon button. So we need to implement on. Is there any icon? They don't have. Where's on tab? On splash color style. Wait, they don't have. Forward color, focus, disable, color, autofocus, alignment. There's no on click on event. Oh, okay. So they don't have that. Focus node. That's weird. It's selected. If the property is null, the button will behave as a normal push button. Otherwise, the button will toggle between showing. Okay, this is selected. Key, mouse cursor, gap padding, selected icon, splash color, splash radius, style. We don't have icon button on tab. flutter icon button on tap or on click. So icon button, they have this. There's an on press, but on press should be on press. There's an on press, right? Should be on. They don't have that. Oh yeah, it's already implemented here. I cannot see that. Sorry, there. That's the implementation. All right, so it's there. It's there already. Should be already there. Sorry for that. So now we want to implement the image picker. All right, now, so the image picker that I use here is quite old version. So image picker version 0.8. So I'm not quite sure the latest version for the image picker. So if they still implement the same, I hope so. So install image picker. So which that means I need to stop this first. Command palette, add update dependencies and put it image picker there, and then save and wait for the pub/spec YAML to do its thing. So we have image picker 0.86, not much difference than the last version that I used, 0.8. There's only small increment to the image picker. Right, should be no problem. So now we import this into the class. Okay, exit code 0 should be okay, no problem. So now I'm going to import this into here, image picker, so that we can use image picker functions. All right, so we have our image, and then we can now define our image picker. Okay, so this version I hope still work. Because I define the picker object and then use the pick image parameter like this. So let's see. Oh, this is for gallery, but I'm on from camera. So from camera, I'm going to take this font and put it inside on camera. Okay, so this is on camera. It uses await, so I need to add async. And now we have pick file from camera. So this one, if pick file is not equal null, so we assign this to the image. Okay, so image file, pick file from here, right? So let's see if this work if there's no other parameter required. Down here, image cropper, there's another library that we need also later on, but let's start with the image first. Okay, so to do that, we need to reinstall with the new library and hit F5. Give it some time to load to install. So let me pause first. So let's see if we manage to get to first. Go back to here, seller, and then new product. We want to take picture. Select picture. This is from camera. So tick from camera. So for the first time, it will ask you for this. Okay, this is the allow camera to access this device location. This is by default provided by image picker. So the requirement of this for the camera to access device location, but we haven't yet provided because device location will require another features that you need to turn on. You can just allow first, and then sorry, this is the first time whenever you use your camera. This is the first time we haven't used it. So this is basically how the simulated camera works in your AVD. Okay, you can just move around. You can see there's a dog there, your kitchen there, TV over there. There's a cat there, and then you can just move around. Actually, you can take the picture of this cat. Okay, take this picture. and then you have a picture there. But for the first time, usually you need to do it one more time. Okay, so because you need to provide the permission first, and then the second times should be no problems already. Okay, take this picture. You should have this right here. This okay. All right, so that's basically the picture that you want to take, but we haven't yet refreshed our UI. Okay, so here you don't have the set state. I did not put any set state here. So because we already assigned this with image. Okay, so image now will get the value, we got the image from the pic file. So you need to set state. Okay, you need to set state. I did not put any set state here. Okay, but if you save, the image will automatically update it. There you go. Okay, that's the image that we take from there. Okay, so let's try it one more time. But on camera, we might need to close the navigation. I did not do the navigation pop. Where's the navigation pop? Splash screen, new product, main screen, profile. It's not there. The main screen, yeah. Yeah, so pop this contact pop there. I just want to have this. Okay, so pop the contacts. Oops, not there. It's supposed to be inside here. Inside here. Okay, pop the contacts. Here you go. Okay, so one more time. New product, the picture. Okay, so the camera is on now. Take the picture and then press OK. There you go. Okay, and then you want to change to different picture. Take again the picture and then move around. Let's say of this couch here. Take picture. There you go. Right? But now you notice that the image, they don't look, this is a portrait image. Okay, so if you want to further control that, you need another library, what we call as the image cropper. So that image cropper will nicely cut your image into the aspect ratio that you wanted. Okay, the aspect ratio that you want, you can use that. And then crop your picture so that you can have a nice size of image here. Even though the max height that I set here, that is 100 times 100, the image will always follow the camera orientation. Okay, so if, for example, let me try to take picture in the different orientation, like in this orientation, and you need, where's the button? It's supposed to be up there. There's the button. It's supposed to be button for rotate. One more time. There you go. Okay. So if the picture is in this orientation, so let me just try to move around and take the picture of this dog. Press OK. So now you can see that the image is landscape mode. Okay, portrait and landscape. So now you think that this is not the best image you want to be for your application, because whenever you have your image, you want it to be in the right aspect ratio, or else you might end up with weird image when you display back in your application. So you want it to be in certain size or in certain aspect ratio. Later on, this is going to be easier for you to be able to load that image into your application, make it a uniform image. Definitely, you can use this image already. Okay, you can just upload this through the server and save it there, store the image in there. But now in this case, usually what I did, I have another features called image cropper. So this will create, or this will allow you to crop the image before we use the image. Okay, we call it image cropper. So that will require another library called cropper library. So that library allow us to crop the image, and we can get better image aspect ratio through that. All right, so that basically, I want it to be like full screen here, or maybe like a square image. Okay, square image like this. Square image is much better for displaying items over the internet. Okay, because in square image, you can have your grid later on, okay, your grid view to display image in a square image. Much better. That's why Instagram works. Instagram, they crop image in square, 1:1 aspect ratio. Okay, so this square image is much better in that sense. Okay, so if you try to control that, you can see the next menu here, you have image cropper. The next item here, you have image cropper. So image cropper allow you to take that image first, crop the image. Okay, implement a cropper image, allow for your image to handle your image better. So the library called image cropper. Okay, so you can definitely, you need to stop this first again and install this through your PubSpec Assist called image cropper, and wait for your image cropper to be available. But image cropper will require some other requirement to be able to use. So let's see what are the new requirements. Zip code 0, not yet. Okay, install the library first into your project. 1019 already. I think maybe we can stop here for this. All right, so I'm going to move later on. I'm going to talk about image cropper later on. But for image cropper, basically what it did is this. Okay, so you can see that when you take image like this in a portrait orientation, your image cropper allow you to crop your image into 1:1. Let's say aspect ratio 1:1. Actually, you can use multiple aspect ratio, predetermined aspect ratio, but it will basically crop your image and make your image into 1:1 ratio. And this image is much better in terms of the ratio. And then you put it into the server, store the data, the file into the server, and then you can retrieve in a much easier manner, okay, compared to if you don't handle your image properly. Okay, so we're going to do this in your next class, and then we work from there.